Well, good day, Crypto Fam. We are back with another video, and today we are talking about stacks. Right now, before we get into stacks, the cryptocurrency market works in cycles, right? Much like the real estate market, much like the stock market, much like many different markets in the world, they do work cyclical because economics works in cycles. Now, the cryptocurrencies space also works in cycles. Now, in these cycles in the crypto space, we talk about a bull run. This is when prices of cryptocurrencies, usually go up, and people make, 2 times, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times their money in different cryptocurrency assets. But this is normally followed by what is called a bear market, whereby the prices of cryptocurrencies normally go down, they sort of remain like that up until the next bull run. Now, these cycles normally work in cycles of about 3.5 years to 4 years. This is purely because of the fact that the Bitcoin supply works in 3.5 year cycles, whereby there is a reduction in the number of Bitcoins that are created or coming out into circulation via a process that is called mining. Now, this process happens every 210,000 blocks, which is roughly plus minus 3.5 years. And this is then normally followed by, what other people call a supply shock, where people realize that actually Bitcoins are becoming more and more scarcer. As a result, it then creates a rally in the price of Bitcoin, followed by everything else, all other cryptocurrency assets. Now, in the past different bull runs, in the past cycles, there has been different narratives, some new, some old, that perform better than others. Now, in this current bull cycle that we are either into or going into, depending who you're asking, there are obviously some speculation as to which cryptocurrency narrative is actually going to do well as compared to others. Will it be layer ones? Will it be layer twos? Will it be AI? Will it be DeFi? Will it be the metaverse? Will it be gaming? Will it be DePIN? Will it be DeSci? There's all these different narratives, and if you're asking different people, they will tell you this or that will actually do better. And of course, it is all pure speculation. Yes, there is some data we can use to basically look at where things could potentially be going. Especially if you look at things like VC funding, it normally plays a role as well as news coverage as well. And of course, institutions, where institutions are basically plowing their money, because at the end of the day, the whole cryptocurrency market is ruled by one thing and one thing only, and that is supply and demand. Now, of course, there is sentiment which influences supply and demand and so forth. But what I want to talk about today is the fact that if you look at the history of Bitcoin, right, when Bitcoin came out in 2009, it was this new innovative thing where people can send money, one to another in a peer-to-peer manner, that's 100% decentralized and so forth. So this then sparked a whole new wave of innovation. And from Bitcoin, we then had other altcoins, right? Altcoins meaning alternative coins. And that is where we have got Ethereum and so forth and so forth. Now, but what really gave rise to Ethereum, one, was within the Bitcoin blockchain, there's a lot of stuff that could not be done because these guys realized that, okay, we've got this thing called money. It's just the base of, this new world of decentralized, form of money. So we've got this thing which is called money, which is Bitcoin. But how about we actually decentralize the entire financial system? How about we are actually able to build a platform where we can build other decentralized application, from where we can do lending, we can do borrowing, we can do insurance, we can do all sorts of things that do exist in the traditional financial system. Now, the Bitcoin blockchain was not able to support all of this innovation, which then necessitated, people like Vitalik Buterin and so many other developers to then go and create Ethereum. So Ethereum was then created as an alternative, whereby, yes, we've got Bitcoin as money. It has proved that blockchain work. It has proved that decentralization actually work. And therefore, now let's build decentralized applications. Now, Ethereum was then born with the purpose of creating a platform whereby decentralized application can be built on that particular blockchain, right? So this was all good and well, but as with everything, right, there is a lot that cannot truly be accounted for up until a system is live, right? So Ethereum was no different. So when they built Ethereum, they realized that actually scalability became an issue at some point. They realized that as more and more people wanted to come and build on Ethereum and excited about what Ethereum was doing, scalability became an issue, and then also with that, gas fees or transaction fees and so forth. Now, and then some of the guys who were involved in the development of Ethereum went and built other platforms similar to Ethereum, but trying to make this or that other aspect better. So that is where we have things like Cardano, we have things like Solana, we have things like EOS, and so many other different platforms which were attempting to build a much better platform as compared to Ethereum. Whether they're improving scalability, whether they're improving transaction fees, and so forth, right? And we've seen this ecosystem grow to be multiple billion-dollar market caps, right? Now, this all stems from the fact that we could not build decentralized applications on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, a few years back, a group of developers actually came together and they formed a company, and then they created a blockchain, which is now currently called Stacks, right? Now, Stacks is attempting to build to be a layer 2 solution on Bitcoin. It's attempting to actually build DeFi on Bitcoin, right? Right now, a lot of money that is in Bitcoin is simply lying dormant and it's not being productive, so to speak. So that is why the team at Stacks, led by Munib, right, who is one of the co-founders, they're attempting to build Bitcoin DeFi. Now, a few years back, nobody actually thought anything can be done with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just simply store of value, a transactional system, a peer-to-peer payment system, and that's all there is to it, right? Up until somebody said, hang on, I think we can do something with Bitcoin. And with the advent of, whilst the guys at Stacks were actually building the ecosystem, of course, they encountered so many different hurdles in the process. But then recently we had things called ordinals, and then we had things called the BRC20s, which has brought a lot of attention into the Bitcoin blockchain and what else can be done to make Bitcoin productive. So I want us to have a look at what the guys at Stacks are doing and why I am personally bullish on Stacks, because I do believe that it is going to do a lot to actually bring DeFi into Bitcoin. Actually, it is doing a lot. Now, one of the things I want to state with Stacks is the fact that it is actually one of the very first cryptocurrency assets that has been declared by the SEC that it is not a security. So if you look at Ethereum, Solana, and all these other DeFi platforms, you realize that actually there is a bit of a cloud hanging over them, and that is, will the SEC classify them as a security or will it not? And if it does classify them as security, what does that actually mean? It seems like that the entire cryptocurrency market is a bit nervous about that eventuality, right? Because it has so many different implications, of which we do not think that they will actually be good for the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So if you look at Stacks, this is the official website. I mean, there's a lot you can read here on your own, but it says activate the Bitcoin economy with the leading Bitcoin layer 2. Now we'll go right now on CoinGecko and have a look at how many other Bitcoin L2s are listed there and what's their market cap, and of course we can look at so many other different matrix. But one of the things that we have seen with crypto is that the currency or the projects that are first on the market and that are forever active and forever trying to improve on whatever that they built, seem to always have an upper hand over newer projects, right? So that is why I do believe that, Stacks has a much better chance of actually growing very well as an ecosystem because of that particular fact, and because of the fact that right now they are talking about, or actually working on what's called as the Nakamoto upgrade, which aims to make transactions on the Stacks network cheaper as well as faster. And they're hoping that once they achieve this, they're then able to do a full Bitcoin DeFi and also do things like metaverse and things like gaming and all these other things that basically require faster and cheaper transaction fees on a blockchain, right? And that is what Stacks is basically trying to do. And there has been a lot of news coverage regarding Stacks. It has performed quite well over the past few months. We'll have a look at that. Now, one of the things I do want to mention is the fact that there is a project that is the raising of the fund was led by Tim Draper, the legendary Tim Draper. Now, Tim Draper is a VC who was probably one of the first VCs to be quite vocal about the future of Bitcoin. He was famous for predicting Bitcoin would get to $10,000 when Bitcoin was roughly around $200. And of course, after that prediction, the price of Bitcoin went down and everybody was started to laugh and think that it was not going to happen. Right now, Bitcoin is over $60,000. Of course, the old man was correct. Now, one of the things that fascinates me is that there is this protocol called Zest. They're trying to bring lending onto the Stacks ecosystem, much like you have the likes of Aave in the Ethereum ecosystem. So it is quite interesting. Of course, if you want to read about what the Nakamoto upgrade is about, you can click on that link. I'm not going to do that, but what I will tell you is that the Nakamoto upgrade is simply about making transactions on the Stacks network safer, secure, faster, and also cheaper as well. Now, what I do want to show you is the ecosystem. I want to show you the ecosystem in terms of, what apps are there that are working on this particular platform. If one wants to interact with the Stacks ecosystem, you can see there's quite a lot happening. There is XTX20 staking DAO. Guys, there's a lot that is happening. We've got wallets, we've got DEXs that one can use. There is one of my favorites. It's called Alex Lab, where you can use it as a DEX to connect to different protocols, but you can also bridge. You can bridge from EVM compatible blockchains. You can bridge from Bitcoin, into the Stacks ecosystem, and you can be able to do staking. You can provide liquidity. There's a lot that you can do on that particular ecosystem, right? So let's have a look at what the price of Stack has been doing over the years. If you head over to CoinGecko, of course, CoinGecko, this is one of my favorite sites that I use to check on the prices of different crypto assets and so forth. So let's have a look at this, right? See how the Stacks price has been performing. Right, October 2019, the price of Stacks, guys, was $37, 37 cents, right? And if you look at it today, it's sitting at just over $2. It did set a new all-time high in the last few months. This was actually in April. Actually, just 2 months ago, guys. About 2 months ago. Actually, yeah, 1 month ago. The price of Stack did reach as high as $3.86. Of course, this was with the excitement of the announcement of the Nakamoto upgrade and so forth. And you can see that you can actually trade this particular asset on so many different cryptocurrency exchanges. Of course, there's been a lot of news that has been done regarding Stacks that you can have a look at. But let's have a look at this, guys. I'm particularly excited about this. Look at the total supply, right? It's 1.8 billion tokens. The circulating supply is around 1.4. There's still quite a lot of coins still to come into the market. But you can mine people that are mining, they're mining this particular token and so forth. So, but the whole idea here is that Stacks is attempting to bring billions of dollars from other DeFi ecosystems into the Stacks or Bitcoin DeFi. Now, I do believe that because of the fact that there's a lot of money in Bitcoin that is sitting dormant, if we do have some creative projects on the Stacks ecosystem that will allow people to seamlessly use their Bitcoin in a more productive capacity where it can earn yield and stuff like that, I do believe that this ecosystem is about to grow. And I've seen so many different, price predictions of this particular token. I've seen as high as $118. I've seen $40, $50. I am personally bullish on this particular token. And I do believe that a $50 price for this particular token is not too far-fetched, especially if everything that they're doing actually grows and they're able to achieve all the different milestones that they have set for themselves, right? Now, if you follow these guys on Twitter, you'll see that there's actually quite a lot that is happening. And what we'll be doing is that in the next few videos, we'll basically be covering different projects in this ecosystem and how well it's doing and so forth, right? Now, before we do that, before we call this particular video off, I do want to take you to the Ethereum ecosystem. Let's have a look at what Ethereum did. Remember, Ethereum started, have a head start as opposed to Stacks. Look at the price right now, it's $3,100. But let's look at how the price of this particular token has performed over the years, right? So in fact, if we just look at 2019, I think we looked at October 2019 for Stacks, right? So Ethereum was actually $227 when Stacks was around 37 cents. So you can see how it has rallied up with everything happening with NFTs. And the interesting things, guys, is that with Stacks, everything that you saw in Ethereum is basically moving into Stacks, or we are seeing equivalents of those into Stacks. I mean, if you look at the fact that Ethereum was helped by things like NFTs, meme projects, and so forth, and we're actually starting to see a lot of those in the Stacks ecosystem as well. And I do honestly believe that it's actually going to grow with time, especially if the Nakamoto upgrade proceeds and is successful. I think we're going to see quite a lot of improvement in the price and in the activity of this particular token. So if you go to categories on CoinGecko and then you go to layer 2s, and then with layer 2s, of course, we know that with Ethereum is now a layer 1 platform because of scalability, because of pricing. There has been other projects that have come and built on the Ethereum blockchain as layer 2s. For example, one of them is Polygon. We've seen a few others emerging like Immutable X, and then Mental, which is quite recent, Optimism, Arbitrum, and so forth. But if you look at all these particular layer 2s, let's look at where Stacks is sitting. Stacks is sitting on number 4 of this particular layer 2s, right? With just over $3 billion in market cap. I do believe that it has the potential of being the number 1 layer 2. Even if you're comparing it with other EVM compatible projects, I do believe that this has got a huge potential. Of course, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research and see why this thing is important, especially with the fact that Bitcoin is going to become more and more scarcer, as you've seen in the previous videos that we've covered. And this is going to bring a lot more attention to what are other Bitcoin alternatives or anything that is closely related to Bitcoin. And I think Stacks is going to be the winner precisely because of those particular reasons, right? So I am keeping, of course, I am keeping my eyes on this particular ecosystem. I do have a few other tokens within this particular ecosystem, and those are all infrastructure projects, guys. I do, look at infrastructure projects. Yes, of course, I look at meme coins, but when I talk about infrastructure, I'm talking about wallet tokens. I'm talking about tokens, utility tokens for platforms like Alex Labs, which is a decentralized exchange on Stacks and Bitcoin. And so those are the things that I look at. And of course, I look at even the meme coin on Stacks, which one was the first, right? And because I know that, for example, West Kogi, it's not really much of a big market cap, but it is the first dog on the Stacks blockchain. Now, should this blockchain explode, of course, everything associated with that is basically going to grow with it. Now, personally, I'm not looking at this or that other, a bull run. I do believe it's going to do well in this bull run, but I'm looking at it beyond this particular bull run because I think when everything else goes down, probably this will be one of those few tokens that are still going to continue growing because of the fact that it's closely related to Bitcoin and it's bringing DeFi to Bitcoin. So I think 2028 will even be a much crazier bull run for this particular token and its ecosystem. So let me know, guys, what do you think about Stacks? Do you think it has a future? Do you think this particular token will do well? And what will cause it to do well? Is there anything that you want me to cover within this particular ecosystem? We actually held the very first Stacks meetup in South Africa 2 weeks back, and we're actually going to be doing some video online hangouts where we're going to be talking about this ecosystem. Hopefully, we can even get some of the players in the ecosystem to come and join us and talk to our community regarding what is happening in this particular ecosystem. I've always maintained that in crypto, it's not just about being early. Being early, yes, it's one metric, but you have to be early and you also have to be a contributor. In a particular ecosystem that you truly believe in. That's where people do create wealth in this cryptocurrency market. So that is why myself and my friends and other people, we do believe in this ecosystem, and that is why we want to focus on building this particular ecosystem, creating awareness within this particular ecosystem, shining light on projects in this ecosystem, and any meme tokens that happen to be born in this particular ecosystem. So please do like and subscribe for more videos like this. And do join our Telegram community where we share quite a lot of information regarding this particular ecosystem and, of course, cryptocurrencies in general. So stay blessed and fill your bags. Make sure that you are ready for this particular bull run.